everyone, today we are sewing up a color blocked or two-tone wristlet strap. I have used this method for this particular strap because I didn't have enough of either the print or the solid left to get the full 14 inches that I like to start with for making my wristlet strap. So as an alternative, I have joined together both colors and I'm going to show you how I did that. So let's get going. You will need pieces of material in 2 different colors. You will need clips, your strap hardware, as well as a ruler, double-sided tape, rotary cutter, and an iron. The first thing that we're going to do is cut our pieces to the correct width. I'm going to be doing a 3/4 of an inch wide wristlet strap to fit within my 3/4 inch hardware. So I will start with pieces that are 3 inches wide. My material is interfaced. I'm using cotton woven as well as faux leather. At this point, I am just straightening up my edges as far as the length of my scraps. I am not worrying about the exact length right at this moment. My piece of faux leather is also 3 inches wide, and now I'm going to cut the angle for the color blocking so that I can spread out the bulk of the join between the print and the solid. I like to use a 14-inch long piece for my wristlet straps, but because I am doing the two-tone piece, I need to account for the area that is angled at the join as well as the seam allowance. So I'm going to cut my piece so that it is 8 1/4 of an inch at the longest point and 6 1/4 of an inch at the shortest point. And if I layer my print and my solid on top of each other, both right sides up, when I cut that angle, I can then turn my piece over. This piece will be cut off and it will join up perfectly at the line. Because I cut the angle at the same time, I know that it will match. So I'm cutting from 8 1/4 of an inch to 6 1/4 of an inch. I'll just use my ruler to line that up, and that will give me a seam allowance to work with of 1/4 of an inch. And you can see now when I place my pieces together, the angle lines up perfectly. Laying the pieces side by side, they measure 14.5 inches, and that will be 14 inches once I sew together the solid and the print. I'm going to line up the 2 pieces right sides together with an overlap of 1/4 of an inch, and you want the crossover to be at the edge of your material at the line where your seam allowance will be. It can be helpful to draw in that line. It's easier to see it on the white backing than the dark backing. When you're joining angled pieces, you want the point that they meet to be the line of your seam allowance. So if you were to line up your pieces so that the outside edges matched like this, once it is sewn, the piece would fold over like so, and your material would not be lined up at the edge. By sliding your fabric so that the edges where your 2 pieces meet is the line of your seam allowance, you will have pieces that are perfectly lined up once you sew and fold open that seam. Clip the 2 pieces together, lining up the raw edges. And I'm going to sew directly along the line, backstitching at the beginning and at the end. Trim your threads and then fold your material and press open that seam allowance. You can finger press that. If you have heat resistant fabric, you can use an iron. And if you like, you can even place some double-sided tape at the very edge to press that seam open. I am butterflying my join, again to reduce the bulk so that it is spread out across the strap. So you can see my piece is now approximately 14 inches, and I'm just going to trim these little corners off to make the sides straight. And now I'm going to top stitch on either side of this seam. You don't have to top stitch on either side of the join between the 2 materials, but I like to top stitch so that my seam lies a bit flatter on my finished strap. Because we'll be making a double fold strap, it's not necessary to start your top stitching in the side seams, as it's going to be hidden on the inside of the folded wristlet. Using a 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, a longer stitch length, and sewing along both sides, I like to pivot at the end so that I only have to back stitch at the very beginning and the very end rather than at both ends of my stitch line. Trim those threads also, and now we're going to create the double fold to enclose the long raw edges. First, fold the long edges to meet at the outside, creating a single fold in your strap straight down the middle. You can press that with a seam roller or with your iron. If you have a non-heat resistant fabric, a seam roller or even a ruler can be used to make that crease. We're then going to fold the long edges into the center, stopping just shy of that center crease. We are stopping just shy of that center crease so that when we do the second fold to create the fully enclosed strap, we will be able to fold our strap over. It won't be too bulky at that closed edge. We're not going to double fold it all the way yet. We have our memory creases placed. You can use an iron to set those creases. So our finished strap will look like this when it is fully sewn. But first, we need to enclose the raw short edges. With our creases made, fold one edge over and then slide on your swivel. I like to slide it up to about the halfway point. We're then going to open out our folded wristlet, making sure that there's no twists, and join up the two opened out raw edges that have the creases from our earlier folds. Clip along the raw edge. And we're now going to take this over to the sewing machine and we're going to sew down this edge using a seam allowance of 3/8 of an inch, back stitching at the beginning and at the end, sewing in a straight line parallel to the short edge. I'm back to using a shorter stitch length, keeping my two layers lined up. Trim those threads, and then you can fold open that seam the same way as we did the diagonal seam. What we're now going to do is double fold our strap on those memory folds. Starting at that point where it kind of wants to stick up, fold one side into the center and continue along around that fold. Do the same for the other side. You can see that your strap meets in the middle with the raw edges almost touching at the center point. Then fold it again and place a clip. And then you will fold the wristlet onto itself to fully enclose the raw edges. And then you will line up the folded edges at the outside and place the clip to keep it in position. Slide your swivel out of the way to get your clips all the way around. Make sure that there are no twists. If you have some extra bulk at these points, you can compress those with key fob pliers or a mallet to make it easier when you're sewing. When I'm compressing my seams, I like to protect the material with a scrap of fabric so that I don't damage my finished product. You can compress the seams where you have done your color blocking also. Then we can go and top stitch around this strap. Starting with the open edge, we're going to be sewing all the way around, starting and stopping with long tails, which we can then pull through to the middle and secure, and then repeating on the closed side. I find that by starting on the open side first, I get well-aligned edges, and it makes sewing the second side a lot easier once the clips are off. When I'm sewing through multiple layers like this, I like to increase my tension. I'm also going to be using a longer stitch length, and I like to start in the fabric section close to the straight join. So that will be where I will install my rivet and my hardware, so it's a little more hidden on your finished strap. The cotton fabric is also more forgiving than the faux leather. Starting with long tails, holding them at the back to reduce any nesting. And I have a hump jumper handy if I need it to help me get over the bulk where the seam is. Remove the clips as I go, keeping the two edges lined up as well as I can. I'm continuing to slide that swivel. As we come back up towards where we started, I'm going to pull my threads. You can pull them between the fold, or you can just pull them to one side. I find it's easier to pull them through before I get back up to my starting point. Meet back up with our first stitch, and then pull the top thread through to the back also, so you have all 4 threads on one side, and then we're going to repeat on the other side. It can be a good idea to check your stitches to make sure that they are balanced after you've done the first few stitches and make any adjustments necessary. Starting in the cotton section, a little bit away from the bulk, gives me the best start to my line of stitches. Finishing up again where I started, pulling all those threads through to one side, and I'll then tie off those threads and tuck them between the layers of fabric. And then trim the threads close to the fabric. Once you've completed sewing around your wristlet strap, turn it out so that your swivel is on the correct side, although yours may have already been like that. And then we're going to fold the strap around the swivel. I like to place my straight seam just beyond where the hardware is so that the bulk of that join is just past the ring from my swivel hook. And now I'm going to place my rivet. If you prefer, you can sew along here. I recommend starting in the middle, sewing to one end, and then back stitching and coming back to the middle and increasing your tension because of the high number of layers in that area. I'm going to be placing a rivet, so I'm going to punch a hole that is just beyond where I can feel the seam allowance. If you feel here, you can feel the edge of the seam allowance where your join in your 2 colors is. I'm going to punch a hole just beyond that, and that is where I'll place my rivet. And I want to have it centered on my wristlet strap. You can eyeball that, you can use a ruler that has the holes marked, or you can use a regular ruler to measure that. This is a 3/4 of an inch wide strap, so I'm going to place my mark so that it's 3/8 of an inch from the outside edge, and it is also 3/8 of an inch up from this join, which will keep it past where that seam allowance is, slightly more than 3/8 of an inch. The clips there help the 2 layers to stay in place when I punch my hole, and I know that there is enough room to place my rivet beyond where the swivel is because I've already got the swivel in place. You can double check that by placing your cap there and checking, and you can even press that down where you want it to be to make a mark as a guide for where you'll punch your hole. Punching all the way through the layers. You want to make sure that your rivet is long enough so that you can see the little indentation in the post. Then you press your cap on and then compress that rivet, making sure that when you do, you feel 2 distinct stages of compression, and that will help you to be certain that the post has splayed out correctly inside of your cap, securing your rivet. I'm using a 9mm cap and a 10mm post. That rivet is now set. You can check it by just pulling gently to make sure that it doesn't pop off, and you're all finished. And that just gives you a cute little alternative to a solid colored or a single print wristlet strap. You can use that on a bag, you can use that for your keys, and it's a great way to make your strap if you don't have quite enough of your material left when you're finished with your main project. Hope that helps. Thanks everyone.